chạy không kịp với tụi nó luôn á.
Đó bởi vậy nên tôi phải chạy theo chứ khuất một cái sợ người ta bắt cóc.
Yeah. Start. Begin. Run. Hi. I video you. Frida. Margot.
Margot and Frida?
Yes.
Oh. Hello.
What's your nickname? Beat and Meow Meow.
Meow meow.
Meow Meow is a cat.
Mousy, bất ngờ là tiếng nói
Mousy.
Mousy.
Yeah. Continue.
Rồi đi.
Tiếp tục. I video them.
Rồi. Dạ.
Ông chạy theo không kịp rồi. Neil ông chạy theo không kịp.
Rồi, đi vô. Really? Yeah, you got new glasses, isn't it?
Frida không có cần sải kiến hả? À. Yeah.
Margot.
Margot, go.
Mày với ông đứng đây người ta chụp cho một cái.
Thôi canh tụi nó đi, chạy không kịp tụi nó đâu.
Tới nhà rồi cũng.
Look at the other ones way down there. She's already at the house.
Yes, at house. Wow, beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
They remodel the house. This one, Camolese. I remember Camolese.
This one?
Yeah. Ah, oh.
Rồi đi xuống đây. Xuống đây con. Xuống đây về vô bà cửa.
Yes. Now we go this way. Bởi vì cái này nè để cho ổng về ổng nhìn ổng nhớ. Go to the lion here. Here.
Where?
Here.
Oh, over there.
Không có em video quay video ổng để cho mai mốt ổng nhớ. You can go in and I will take the pictures for you.
The one before this, it was sinking in the 60s. We had to take it down, it was sinking in the mud. An American bought it, and he paid $2 million for the bridge. And he had the bridge rebuilt in America. The old London Bridge, it's in America today. Does anybody know where in America?
Arizona.
Could you tell us, please? Correct, sir. Lake Havasu, in the Arizona desert. Are you from America? You know, but it's in the desert of all places, Arizona, rebuilt in America. On the left-hand side, in a dock, look between the buildings in the dock, and you've got the replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. He was the first Englishman to sail the world on a ship identical to that, 1577, Sir Francis Drake. And on the right, in the city of London, mostly office buildings in the city, you got the railway station, Cannon Street, so a very busy railway, the city of London. Now the actual city, it measures 1 square mile from Tower Bridge. All this area is the capital city. We're passing beneath the bridge, and if you look on the right, on the foreshore, a container barge. Now up and down the river, there are many container barges. They fill the containers with garbage. All of London's rubbish, it comes down to the river and they pack it inside the containers. On the high tide, the barges float and London's rubbish is then taken out of London every day. Thousands of tons of rubbish goes down the river and we dump it. We dump our rubbish about 10 miles behind us. A little place called Essex. And in Essex, they use our rubbish as landfill. So they literally pack the rubbish in the marshy wetland in Essex. So that's behind us, about 10 miles away. If you look to your left now, if you get a chance to visit this building, try to go there. The Globe Theatre of William Shakespeare. That round white building with the flags, so that is the replica of the Globe Theatre. From April until October, there's a play every day inside that building. It's an open-air theatre, and even if it rains, the show, it must go on. You can buy a ticket, a standing ticket, watch a play for £5. And that's all it is. It's very cheap, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, a bottle of beer will cost you £5 on this one. And so you could visit that theatre and watch a play, live performance for only £5. So I'm sure you'll agree that's very cheap. Well, you've got a footbridge here, and it was opened in the year 2000. On opening day, thousands of people walked across. The bridge, it started to shake from side to side. It was very windy, and it started to sway. And they had to close it for safety issues. They closed it for 2 years. They had to re-strengthen the bridge. Look underneath, and they've added shock absorbers to stop the bridge bouncing as people walked across. So it doesn't shake anymore, but they do call it the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. And if you look on YouTube, the opening day, you'll see those people shaking as they're walking across. So the problem, it was too light. People's footsteps, so many of them, made it move. On the right, there's a lovely view between the buildings, St Paul's Cathedral. It took 35 years to build. And buried in the crypt, the architect, Sir Christopher Wren. Look on top of the dome, and there's a viewing level. You get great views above the dome. But to get up there, there's a staircase, and there's well over 500 steps to the top of St Paul's. Above the bridge on the left, a tall glass building. These are the newest apartments on the River Thames. They was finished about 5 years ago, and they sold the penthouse for £20 million.
Wow.
So very, very expensive to live anywhere near the Thames. I don't live anywhere near the river, ladies and gentlemen. So I live very far away. So if you live anywhere near the Thames, it will cost millions of pounds. Blackfriars Railway and the Blackfriars Bridge. Those columns, the top became unsafe, but it used to carry steam trains from Dover to London, an old Victorian steam railway. And it's going to get very windy
The
as we
window
come through the bridge
also
now. So you'll feel
You
the
see it?
breeze starting to pick up.
on the
On the right, the office building, Unilever House, soap detergent manufacturers, Unilever. That's a nice building. Next door, the old school for boys. That's the old school. Look carefully.
for boys.
Look between the arches.
Right there.
There are 4 statues.
That one
4
is the
great
gray
men.
one is the boys.
From left to right, Isaac Newton, William Shakespeare, Sir Francis Bacon, and the last man on the right, standing with a ball, David Beckham.
Oh, really?
So that is where Beckham went to school. Of course, that was a joke. That is actually John Milton. Beckham, he never went to school apparently. He was always skiving, just playing football all day. So that's Beckham, that's saying.
Yeah.
Now you look on the right, and you can see the high tide mark. They say very shortly, from the sea behind us, the tide will flood. If you come back in 5 hours, you'd be 7 meters higher. All the way up the river's wall, the tide will be. In the reign of Queen Victoria, they feared London could flood. So as a flood warning on this river's wall, they put lions' heads with rings in their mouths all the way up. And if the tide got too high, if it got to the mouth of the lion's head, they could send out a flood warning. A very old rhyme. If the lions are drinking, London is sinking. And if the heads are ducked, London's flooded. Some of you got that one. We're approaching on the right Temple Arch. This arch on the river's wall. From Tower Bridge to Temple Arch, that is the 1 square mile. The smallest capital city in the world. Very small capital. The rest of London, it's called Greater London. All the boroughs, but the actual capital, we're now leaving it behind us. We now enter Westminster. So this is all Westminster on the right. The city is behind us. The white ship, the Wellington on the right. Years ago it patrolled New Zealand in the war. Today, a floating livery hall. A club for retired sea captains. Master mariners. To be a master mariner, you have to be a captain of a ship at sea for 25 years. So neither one of us are members of that club. We don't work at sea, we work on the river. But we have our own livery hall in the city of London. It's called the Waterman's Company, and it's much older than theirs. We serve an apprenticeship still to become freemen of the Waterman's Company. So we have our own drinking club in the city. So it's a much older club than the Master Mariners. They founded our licence on the river to get people safely across the Thames. Before they built all the bridges, you had to get rowed across the river. And so they founded the Waterman's Licence 500 years ago. And so we're both freemen of that company. On the right, Somerset House, a residence for the royal family years ago. This is mostly offices today. What a lovely building. And the Waterloo Bridge. Notice, look how clean it is on the outside. Portland stone. Every time it rains, it gets a wash. Look at the underside. You can see where the rain dribbles underneath. So they built the bridge using Portland stone. The bridge was built by women in the Second World War. A shortage of manpower. So the women, they done all the work at home and they built that bridge, Waterloo. So us Londoners call it the Ladies' Bridge, Waterloo. And on the right, in the Strand of London, the Savoy Hotel. The building has got a green tiled roof. The very famous Savoy Hotel. With your camera on the right, on the river's wall, there's a stone obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle, and it's over 3,000 years old. Made in pairs. There's a twin, and it's in America, Central Park, New York City. We was given our needle for the help given defeating Napoleon and the French fleet at the Battle of the River Nile. So the Egyptians, they sent it as a gift for our help. And the area to your left at the South Bank. On the left-hand side, our Royal Festival Hall. And both Pavarotti and Frank Sinatra have performed inside that building. And we've got a railway bridge, Charing Cross. There's also a footbridge on both sides. So we like to wave to the people on the bridges. And usually they do wave back. So they wave back usually if they're on holiday and they're happy. And if they don't wave back, they're probably as far as London, just to be miserable. They don't stop to wave. Lots of office workers will cross the bridge and they never stop to wave. Now a lovely building to visit on the right, it's called Whitehall. And inside this building is mostly apartments and offices. But in there, the Sir Winston Churchill Wartime Office Museums. Very interesting. So this is where Sir Winston had his wartime office during the war, Whitehall. Now, if you're getting off the boat at Big Ben, you're leaving us at Westminster, you might fancy a couple of drinks. The sun's out and it's not so windy here, is it? Now we've come round the bend, it's not so windy, and it's quite nice to sit on the right. The pub on the Thames, the Tattershall Castle. Now, years ago, that boat was a ferry on the River Humber near Yorkshire. It's a very popular pub on the Thames today. Behind the ship, with the flagpoles, the Ministry of Defence building. Behind that building is Downing Street, so the home of the Prime Minister. And we like to mention on the right, the Golden Eagle, the RAF, the Royal Air Force War Memorial. Very important. Across the river to your left, say the London Eye. Now it looks to me like the sun's coming out. We'll have some blue skies hopefully soon. And you might want to visit the London Eye. From the top, you're going to see all over London on a clear day. There are 32 boroughs of London. There are 32 glass pods on the build. So every pod represents a borough of Greater London. To go all the way round, it's going to take half an hour, say 30 minutes. And it's quite busy. So in every pod, there's a maximum 25 people in every pod. So this is Europe's #1 tourist attraction. And it's even more popular now than the Eiffel Tower for wedding proposals. They say a great place to do it is at the very top of the wheel. When you reach the very top of the wheel, so that would be the best time to do it, gentlemen. So if you are feeling romantic whilst you're here, gentlemen, so the London Eye is a great place to do it. Although, if you are thinking of doing it, gentlemen, try to make sure that she's going to say yes. Because if she does say no, so you're going to be stuck up there in a pod with about 23 people laughing at you and a very long, a very awkward 15 minutes at the bottom if she says no. So maybe don't do it, gentlemen.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to tell you about our building shortly. Stay to your left.
Maybe we get out
Lovely
here.
building here. It's a hotel.
In here,
This
Westminster.
building is the Marriott Hotel. And it's the largest Marriott hotel in Europe. But once upon a time, this was London's town hall. Underneath the hotel, you've got loads of attractions here. We've got Sea Life, the London Aquarium. You've got Shrek's Adventure and the London Dungeons, the County Hall. And ahead of us, we've got Westminster Bridge. And you'll notice the further up you go, the lower the bridges become. The river becomes narrower as well. And the river continues tidally for another 30 miles. If you continue ahead of us for 30 miles, you'll meet a lock, a gate in the river. It's called Teddington Lock. And from the North Sea behind us, the river, it flows to Teddington Lock. So we don't go any further than this bridge, but we're going to hold the boat here. And you'll get some lovely views of the famous clock tower. And does anybody know the name of the clock tower? And I'll give you a clue, kids. It's not Big Ben. Does anybody know the name? Shout it out, kids. Okay, there's a few different answers there. But I heard that, that's it, the young boy with the hand up. Say it again. Elizabeth Tower, well done. Big Ben is the bell. The name of the clock is the Great Clock. The tower is the Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah, now
They
change
used
the
to
name.
call it the St. Stephen's Tower. But 10 years ago, we celebrated the Diamond Jubilee year. They renamed the tower the Elizabeth Tower. And this year will be Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee, her 70th year on the throne. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating the Platinum Jubilee. Now, I'm not too sure how old the kids are, but they might not have been born by the last time we had the Diamond Jubilee.
This one, Naples
Nepalese.
and Indian, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Adi,
Yes?
those the land.
Yeah, we didn't. I video
This
it.
is the new college.
New college.
Well, I mean,
I video it and you come back, you can watch it. I remember this place Harry Potter, they also film in here.
No, I think the one I took you is Christchurch.
Yeah.
Very big one.
Because of the grass field.
They look like that anyway. But you want to go that way?
I had to to the temple this morning. Took the temple, took the field and went,
I won't with Charles before. We could do around garden. Okay. Other things to do that. Wherever. You can see the wall.
Yeah.
You? It's in capital, it's easy with energy. I'm easy. Anyway,
Let's go this way. We follow you.
no, I'm just worrying about you're not climbing up.
No, I'm not.
Just walking along, gentle walk, fine. If you want to break this cycle, you have a break.
No, I'm fine.
No problem. Going up to the garden and then going to a chapel.
Okay.
It's very beautiful. No,
Wow, everything is green.
That's what we love about London. Everything is green. Or the UK actually.
because I think that they're low, that and then put up the house and then even the outside to be
Yeah. Yes. The tree is big.
It's
It is.
the old wall.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing.
Sing. I go closer here. Them. They not scared.
Not at all.
Yeah. Have a hat, long tail. Yeah. Please dance.
He doesn't care.
Ah, look at me. Look at me. Please.
Now he's looking at you.
Yeah. On up is a big, I think, some 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you can walk. Now you can go and I video you go inside.
Wait, how did they get up there? They're cool.
Yeah, just video because too much.
So many people crossing.
Yeah.
You can video walking this way.
Yeah, I video it. now. We go down this way.
Kew Gardens.
Discovery something.
It's an adventure.
Adventure, yes. And this man, adventure man.
Suck in his gut.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful.
in here, very, very beautiful place. Hummingbird.
Yeah.
I think this place is Japanese garden.
Garden.
Yeah. Or you can go in the front, I can video.
Pine trees.
Yes.
They all sell beer.
But today they don't make it, they just
Right
run.
here, look.
Yeah.
These are the custard fish cakes that are delicious.
But this one is look like quail. Cái tàu này chắc cũng đời mới chứ cái tàu hồi xưa là nó bằng cái đốt than, mà cái này nó
Et te dire, oh là là, déjà elle fait rien. Tu sais rien d'avoir pour nous en fait. Parce que moi, s'il y a mes beaux-parents qui viennent, ils s'installent, qui passent toute la semaine chez moi, j'ai pas envie d'être mal logée, tu vois. Sur ça.
I want a nice picture. I want you smiling. You got to smile.
Okay, one more.
Is that girl, when she smiles, she's so beautiful.
I try.
Có gì
42. 688.
Go on then, go on then.
68.
Some people still.
Chụp hình nha. Cheese.
Oh, look. Okay. Go on then. Go on then. Happy.
There's lots of days.
Put it in your mouth. Aaron, eat it.
That's not my phone, that's like...
And Amma as well.
Oh, is it nice?
Okay. No, just the...
Yeah, just
Chị mời vô luôn, chị mời.
Can you serve it to the aunties and uncles? Okay? Can you serve it to the aunties and uncles?
Is it good?
Yes. I video you. Yeah.
Oh, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it, please.
Hey, Aaron.
No, don't touch it. Not for you.
Em mang phụ mẹ đi rồi đưa cho mọi người.
Okay, then wait.
Đưa ba Lâm à. Đưa ông ngoại.
Ông ngoại, rồi bạn ông ngoại nữa.
Give to your granddad, yeah?
Can you give it to
No,
your
no, you.
No, 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 you do it first.
Đưa cho Lena trước.
I can't eat it, granddad.